Former President Trump has proposed a bold new move to strengthen the U.S. semiconductor industry. According to reports, he wants the U.S. government to take roughly 10% ownership of Intel, arguing that taxpayers should benefit directly from funds allocated under the Chips and Science Act. The proposal has already caused a stir in the markets. Despite a general tech sector pullback, Intel stock jumped approximately 7%, signaling investor optimism about the potential implications. Commerce Secretary Lutnick clarified that the government would take equity without governance or voting rights, meaning this is a financial stake rather than an attempt to control company decisions. This initiative reflects broader concerns about national security, global competitiveness, and the future of semiconductor manufacturing in the U.S. Intel has long faced stiff competition from NVIDIA, AMD, and overseas manufacturers like TSMC and Samsung. By converting government subsidies into direct equity, Trump's plan aims to ensure that public investment also delivers public returns, potentially setting a precedent for future industrial policy. Trump's proposal calls for the U.S. government to acquire approximately 10% of Intel, converting a portion of the Chips and Science Act subsidies into direct equity. This approach differs from traditional grants or subsidies, where funds are provided without expecting a financial return. The stated goal is to allow American taxpayers to benefit financially from government support for semiconductor development. Instead of giving subsidies for free, a portion of Intel's future profits could flow back to the federal treasury, aligning public investment with public returns. Intel's stock reacted positively, rising roughly 7% despite broader tech sector weaknesses, suggesting that investors are interpreting government equity as a potential catalyst for growth. The Commerce Department clarified that the U.S. government would not exercise voting rights or attempt to govern Intel's operations, emphasizing that this is an economic rather than managerial intervention. Supporters argue that this model creates a new form of public-private partnership, where taxpayer money fuels industrial development and taxpayers share in the upside if the company succeeds. Critics may point out potential conflicts of interest, the complexity of valuing equity stakes, and the risk of politicizing corporate decision-making. This proposal also comes at a pivotal time for Intel, as the company faces competition in AI chips, data centers, and PCs. Converting subsidies into equity could provide both financial backing and investor confidence necessary for the company to accelerate innovation and manufacturing capacity. Intel has received approximately $7.9 billion in subsidies, part of broader efforts to revitalize U.S. semiconductor production. TSMC, the Taiwan-based chip giant, received $6.6 billion for its Arizona plant, highlighting the global race to secure chip manufacturing capabilities on American soil. Trump criticized prior policies, stating, "Previous administration gave money for free. We want a slice of ownership." The emphasis is on accountability and ensuring that taxpayer dollars generate measurable returns rather than being dispersed as grants with no financial stake. The broader objective is clear: boost U.S. semiconductor manufacturing, reduce dependence on foreign suppliers like Samsung and TSMC, and strengthen supply chain resilience in strategic technologies. Chips are the backbone of modern technology, from consumer electronics to AI infrastructure to defense applications, so national self-reliance has both economic and security implications. Intel, historically a U.S.-based industry leader, has struggled to maintain its dominance in recent years. Competitive pressure from AMD in CPUs, NVIDIA in AI accelerators, and overseas manufacturers has exposed vulnerabilities. The proposal to convert subsidies into equity is framed as a way to revive Intel's competitive edge while directly benefiting American taxpayers. The strategic rationale for Trump's plan extends beyond financial returns. National security is a primary motivation. By ensuring that a significant portion of chip production occurs in the U.S., the government reduces dependency on foreign suppliers, mitigating risks in geopolitical tensions or supply chain disruptions. This model could also set a precedent for other chip makers. If Intel's equity stake proves successful, similar arrangements could be proposed for other critical technology firms, creating a new paradigm for public-private industrial strategy. Intel CEO Chen-Li Wu is spearheading efforts to restore U.S. leadership in chip manufacturing. The company's challenge is significant. It must compete in AI chips dominated by NVIDIA, while AMD gains ground in PCs and data centers. Equity from government-backed investment could accelerate construction of megafactories, fund R&D, and signal confidence to private investors. Additionally, the U.S. government stake could align Intel's operations with national industrial priorities without controlling day-to-day management. This ensures strategic alignment while preserving corporate autonomy, a delicate balance crucial to both innovation and national interest. Investors have begun reacting to the announcement. SoftBank purchased a $2 billion stake in Intel, betting that government involvement may help revive the company's fortunes. Analysts note that an equity stake from the government may unlock further investment, support megafactory construction, and accelerate chip production timelines. Intel's Ohio megafactory, for instance, has faced delays. Equity investment could help overcome funding and infrastructure hurdles, enabling the company to meet projected production schedules. Market observers view government involvement as a potential signal of stability, which could reduce financing costs and encourage private sector partnerships. However, some caution that government stakes carry risks, including potential regulatory scrutiny, political considerations, and market perceptions that corporate decisions may be influenced by public policy rather than purely market-driven strategy. Balancing these factors will be critical to maintaining investor confidence while achieving strategic objectives. Overall, the market sees potential upside, particularly if equity drives expansion and production improvements. But the long-term implications will depend on execution, governance safeguards, and Intel's ability to innovate in competitive chip markets. The key takeaway is that turning subsidies into equity represents a smarter approach for taxpayers, aligning public investment with measurable returns. Instead of providing grants with no financial upside, a 10% government stake allows taxpayers to directly benefit from Intel's future success. Strategically, this move could help the U.S. regain leadership in semiconductor manufacturing, strengthen supply chain resilience, and support technological sovereignty. As chips become increasingly central to AI, cloud computing, defense, and consumer electronics, national capabilities in this sector are critical for both economic and security reasons. Trump's plan also signals a shift in industrial policy, from unconditional subsidies to strategic investments that combine public oversight with market incentives. This could influence future policies across tech, energy, and other critical industries. Finally, the proposal emphasizes that Intel plus U.S. government equals national tech and economic leverage. By taking a financial stake without controlling operations, the government can support innovation, foster competitiveness, and ensure that public funds generate public value. Execution will be key, but the potential to transform the semiconductor landscape is significant.